Hey, what's up? It's Achilles, and we're back on Indecisive TCG playing Kobe. This is my last leader that I'm playing for the OP11 leader. We are having Ronald play Shirahoshi, so if you're looking forward to that, go ahead and check him out. But right now, we're talking about Kobe, and it's a really exciting deck. So I am really hyped. I actually bought custom sleeves for this leader. Um, when I heard his ability, I was like, I definitely want to play him. He sounds like the aggressive, like black, a red, perfect mix. That I've always wanted Gart to be. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Your sword type characters can attack characters the turn that they are played. That is very huge because if they turn their character sideways, period, you get to swing at them after playing that card down. Also, once per turn, when one of your Navy type characters with original power 7,000 or less is removed from play by your opponent's effect, instead you can place 3 cards from the trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. That is the anti-black that I liked about this deck. Has that feel for black because it's all about swinging into characters, but you also have the anti-black and you have the red element where you're attacking pretty much rush, right? That's what the first effect is. Red rush. Second part, KO characters, or attacking to characters. Definitely love that theme, especially for a sword type deck. And I believe if you're sword, you're also Navy. So basically both effects work on all of the Navy slash sword characters that there are, or all the sword characters that there are. We also get introduced into a lot with OP11, and that's the cards that are searchers, but they also have a second effect. So this is your standard searcher, which you can search for Navy, not itself, but active main, you can give one of your characters plus 1,000 during this turn. So later down the line, or even that same turn, you basically get to search for free and then give a character 1,000. So instead of giving that character a Don, you could search, then give them plus 1,000. Same thing, except if they have a Don X1. But definitely a big plus into our searchers. And we have Doll, really good card. Definitely playing 4 of these. Minus 6,000 is huge, especially when you have characters that can attack on the same turn that they're played. Very huge, and it's a blocker. Really good card here. The only thing is, I wish it was black, but it wouldn't have gotten the minus power. It would have gotten the minus cost. So really like this card. Now we're going to Habari. On play minus 2,000, and then when this card attacks, you can choose one of your leaders and they can attack active characters this turn. So you play her down, you minus something down, and then if it's sideways, you can swing with her, give your leader the ability to attack active characters. Really good, very good synergy. Kind of wish I could bump this up to 4. Well, it doesn't have counter, so that's kind of why it went down to 3. It is a really good card, but I guess 3 is where I'm sitting at with this one. We also have one Barcelona, and that's because it's a blocker, great defensive card, and you can rest him, which then he won't be a blocker for that turn. But one of your Navy type characters, our leaders, can attack active characters this turn. So it's really good for that first part of the passive and getting rid of the board, as well as being a blocker. And it'll be a pseudo blocker once you turn it sideways, because they're not going to want you to give another card the ability to swing into the active characters if they want to establish bodies. So not bad choice. I think I'm gonna be playing a few games with this, maybe a few games with Honesty Impact, which is give minus 4,000 in KO, a 6,000 power card. This gives us a body and a blocker, but this gets us a definite KO, and then we get a card that we can swing into on top of if we play Doll, which would be on our 10 Dawn 6 and 4. We can do that. We can minus something by 6, minus something by 4, and then also KO something. So potentially getting rid of 3 bodies or getting rid of 1 big body. So definitely have synergies with that. This promo kid, Koby, I normally don't add promos, but because this has already been announced for the West and it looks fairly easy to get, especially off the second market, and then not too many people are playing Koby at the moment, so definitely probably one of the easier cards to get. Definitely want to add at least 2 of these in here because they go really well with this card Helmeppo, where you'll trash a card and you can play a card, a sword type character that's 8 or less, other than Helmeppo, and then you get to draw a card to replace that card. Really good. You can cheat him out. You can cheat out the 8 cost Koby, and we're talking about on our 6 Dawn turns getting 2 characters out. Now the Helmeppo will bottom deck the card at the end of your turn, but these both have good when attacking effects that give your character the ability to it'll turn your leader into a 7k leader, so it gives you really good defensive power. And another reason why this one is kind of good to do it with is because it becomes a 5k on their turn, and it's like a pseudo blocker, something that they can't just leave on the field, because who wants to deal with the 7k leader every time this thing attacks? But it gives them so this one is really better to go to the bottom. This one is just, it's a little bit heavier. You only get 1k, so you would kind of want to do this effect multiple times. Also, it's harder to swing into this one, and you would want to kind of keep this guy on your field if possible. There's another reason why we're playing 4 of them. And if you don't know what he does, on play, one of your characters can attack active characters, not leaders. You just have to remember that when you're playing. This one is characters, this one is leader, this one is characters and leader, and this one is characters and leaders. So just when you're planning out your attacks. Also, when attacking, you can return 2 cards from your trash and give one of your leaders our characters plus 1,000. So he kind of buffs. You do lose 2 cards out of hand, so depending on if you're playing a removal heavy deck, you may not be able to do this card and be prepared with your leader effects, because you're going to be returning 3 cards back. Against removal heavy, you may not have a trash, which is another reason why we run Kuzan at 4, because on play, trash 3 cards. Definitely cheat him out, or you can cheat him out with the Sengoku, who's a blocker who plays a Black Navy card. So get him out there. He lets your leader or character attack active, so they're not going to want to keep him on the field. If you do swing with him and they KO him, you can bring him back with the Sengoku. It does come back rested, so you'll basically for sure get that on play, but you may not get that when attacking, just depending on how your board state is. But it is definitely good for filling your trash against the removal heavy. And then they also have 2 cards that they have to get rid of now. With that one, we have this one's a really good 2K. Um, this one I would say is kind of good into like a Nami matchup. You're not really playing it because of that. I think you're playing it more because it's a 2K, I would be playing it because it's a 2K. It's something you can grab with Sengoku just in case Kuzan isn't there, and you get that extra bonus effect of adding cards to those few blue decks that need those cards in trash, and even against like Blackbeard if he doesn't have the on play effect on. If you can slip that in, that can help bring down the other guy by 1k. Jesus. And this guy you just have to remember that he can only block if there's a black navy. So if you have a red navy on the field, it isn't a blocker. So you just gotta think about that before you let a black navy card die. You know, you want to make sure that you block with this definitely Sengoku, really good card to keep cards in your hand. So you have him, you have this searcher, you have that searcher. We're only playing one because we have a good amount of ways to keep cards in our hand, as well as bring them back. So we can bring back the Sengoku with Sengoku, and just keep our hand size huge. And we can always add this back to our deck if we ever need to draw cards. Again, we could eventually get there if it's going the distance. And this deck does go the difference because it's more about, I would say, at least the way I built it is more about attrition and going to war and battle. We're taking cards out of your hand, or we're taking cards off the board, and then we'll worry about life after that. After I have a few cards and you don't, we're gonna definitely go at you. And we have a lot of blockers, big blockers, small blockers, that are gonna help us kill your characters and keep our hand size and whatnot big. But let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. All right, so we got our first match into the carrot. Now, it's definitely hard to find games on here, and I definitely have to speed it up because a lot of people are playing new things and they're also taking their time. But like I said, this deck also goes very late game, just because it's about grinding out your opponent, and that's at least the way I built this carrot. She does get to play stage and get a free Dawn. We were looking for something to play for our 6-7. Didn't find it, but we have the Kuzan, which means we're probably gonna trash it. And yeah, we got our Helmepo trashed, which is fine, because we do want to keep those Kobys out on the field if possible. Playing him for 6 is nice, but it's definitely not something we need. We do have the carrot, which could tap down our Kuzan. Not great, and they get a free Dawn, free 2 Dawn. So definitely can go heavily into our character. We're gonna give them 2 because we want to be able to go into that blocker there if possible. Now I'm just planning out how I want to do this, and bam, we actually draw into a card we wanted to see, something we can play at 6, which allows our leader to attack active characters, and we minus it down by 2. So we're gonna swing the 5 here, give her the ability to attack into active, so now she can attack, and give our leader the ability to attack into. I should have gave it to the Sengoku, I don't know if it had to be sword. I thought it was navy. So if it was navy, I think it would have been better to give it to the Sengoku. So have that Sengoku swing into that Milky. Um, but she ends up resting the Sengoku. Just to use a leader effect because there's nothing else to use it on. Carrot is dangerous. We do have a bunch of cards that if she drops a carrot, probably will not be. Yep, will not be attacking until I get rid of that carrot. And getting 4 Don back here is very nice. That Milky is a card I definitely slept on. Definitely slept on when playing or when building my character deck. So now we have the Pedro, which I'm fine with. We're going to go ahead and drop him out at 8, giving him the ability to attack into an active character. This one was a little bit tough. I should have gave it to her to attack into characters, but I forgot that she doesn't do characters and not leaders. So that's just my hesitation there. I was like, oh, if I would have gave it to her, she could have attacked, and then she could have gave it to my big Koby, but that's not true. He does that effect, and we get to say, no, sir. We're keeping our card. You're gonna have to attack into him or keep him frozen. She is able to attack and give him the ability to attack into character, so we will be pressing that carrot. It's hard to say if I should have pressed that carrot or if I should have pressed the leader after her taking. I think regardless, she just gives us a 2K, so I don't think it matters. She has way too many cards, but that would have forced her to make sure it was a 2K and not a 1K. Very likely, unlikely that she didn't have it. Now she's deploying Wanda and searching for some cards, which means she's definitely scared. A lot of cards in hand, but not a lot of cards, and also the Wanda was free. So mainly probably because the Wanda was free. Go ahead and do that, search something, look, but we definitely have a lot of cards on the field, and that Luna, that damn Luna, definitely will slow us down here. On top of, getting a lot of Don there. Taking the Milky to play the Milky, just to get that extra Don out. I see what they're doing, but they only swing 6, which I guess they'll swing 7. We'll go ahead and take that, which gives us another Koby. Here, we're just gonna go ahead and drop the guy down. Deciding who we want to attack active characters, and I think it's gonna be the Koby that can only attack characters. We'll press him at 9. With him having so many cards in hand, he can give us 3 cards, or he can take. Now that he's taken, we can definitely not go at face, but probably want to go at the carrot. But we choose the law because why play games? We know if we go at the carrot, he's just gonna give us the law. So we make sure we pump our guy up. And having a 7K swing here. I think maybe going at the carrot probably was better, now that I think about it. Because if he doesn't give us the carrot, then the next turn we could go 8, or the next one we can go 8. But I mean, he could have countered out of the 8 and had a blocker and so had 2 more swings for us. So that wasn't too bad, even though that was the play he was gonna play. Getting 2 Don back. Really don't like the Don Flamingo here. I never liked that card. But we have our leader as a 7k, and they freeze another one of our cards. We're gonna protect our only card that can swing next turn. And I think just going 16 at life here, because we win, is the best play here. And I think I get so blinded. I definitely get blinded here where yeah. This is definitely my mistake here. And yeah, this is where I find out, oh yeah, active characters. I mean leaders and not characters. I was so into the play of playing the Koby down and having that Koby swing, having both the Koby and the Havari swing into the characters on board, that yeah, I I could have possibly thrown the game. They have 3 to 4 good swings here. I do have a good chunk of counter with me playing 13 counter and my leader also being a 6k. Doesn't look too bad, but we'll fast forward here. And yeah, she has to go for game because she can't freeze like she did last time. Going 6, just counting the counter, and we get another 1k, which gets us out of an 11k swing. So if she does drop, and she decides to drop 10 and not 11 to do the final 11, we'll go ahead and counter out here because all their Don is committed, so we don't have to worry about them playing a blocker or something that would slow the game down. And yeah, the game is done. It could have been done a turn earlier, but you live and you learn. All right, right off to the Shanks. So that's another thing with decks that you're not used to playing, and that make you kind of think a little bit harder, which Koby definitely does. You definitely hear them make mistakes. I'm thinking here we're gonna grab a card, and then we're gonna go. Thought about playing a Habari, but we'll go for the Searcher. Just fixing our hand out right, and we get the Doll. So Doll is important in this matchup later in the game and not earlier. When he starts playing out his bigger bodies, the KO Shanks, the 12k Shanks, any of those big things, Doll is going to be able to protect us and minus those characters down to 6,000, get them into really good attacking range. And because Shanks plays a lot of bricks, we'll be able to control board. We cannot, with the Peacock, we cannot use her ability to go for leader, so we're just going to go 5 and let him leader effect. He is keeping 2 Don up, so that could have been potentially dangerous. He could have popped the Peacock, but he did not. And I'll take that in mind that he may leave 2 Don up again to get rid of our Peacock. So let's go ahead and use that next turn. He plays out the Marco because we played out Kuzan. Another really good key card there. We're able to send 3 cards back to the deck. and because we played the event as well, it filled our trash. We'll go ahead and take a card. And now we're on 6 Dawn. We can search again, play Hibari, or we can yeah, so we're definitely gonna minus that down. Now we need our characters to attack active characters, but we first need to get him plus 1000 to swing there. Even if he uses leader ability, he still has to use a card. And we have one more Dawn open for Koby. Just again, he can't use that effect. Now Koby can attack active if he wants to let this thing stay. And he KOs it, but he brings it back. So here I should have swung into life and not into that guy because he didn't use leader effect. That is definitely a mistake on my part, and I just really wanted that Marco gone. Yeah, should have just thought about it that. Here he splits his Dawn out evenly, and if he goes into my characters, that's fine. We're going into 8 Dawn next turn. We're going to be able to swing into that guy. And just looking at the trash, do we want to play the helmet out? No, we can wait. This also allows us, so we're gonna go ahead and give that ability to a character, use the effects, and pump up our Koby. This is really nice into the Shanks matchup because he can't do his leader effect. He does bring him back. We learn from our mistakes and we swing at leader. And yes, he had 2 red rocks that he used. And we got rid of a Ben Backman, which I think he's thinking is not useful in the matchup because I can just counter it. But we do have bodies on board. We're okay if the Koby dies because we have the Himepo to play out. So if he does decide to do big swings at us again, we're totally okay with that. He plays a building snake, which drops our guy down into range for and he plays another card, leaving only 2 cards in hand. Yes, he has 5 cards in life, but 2 cards in hand. He definitely takes one of our characters out. And yeah, whatever big swing he wants to do at me, we'll take. There we get a combo to go out with the Helmepo. So we also have a peacock, so we'll go ahead and do some searches here. Just see what we find. We'll go ahead and grab the Kobe's, a 1K. And this is where I'm deciding. He only has 2 cards in hand, and I have a lot of Dawn. So instead of playing out the Himepo this turn, we can play him out the next turn. Give our leader AK, and he has another body he has to focus on getting rid of. On board, we'll go ahead and swing big. We have an AK swing, and we'll drop what we think is a blocker at the moment, but it's not a blocker. So our Kobe's with the -3, 5K. He's at his 12 turn. He's at his 12 turn, and he's thinking. Alright, so he plays out the Rayleigh. He gives our cards minus, and he decides to pop one of our cards, which we have plenty of cards in the trash, so just gonna go ahead and ditch them. Most of the red cards we can't get back with Sengoku, so they can go to the bottom for sure. He throws all his Dawn on to her, which we 2K because we think we have a blocker, and we decide we're gonna block, and we realize, oh, black only, so we take the L there. With that being said, we're just looking at what's on board. Do we want to play him out? And we actually do. We'll trash the Koby. Just deciding if I want to trash the Koby or trash a different card and grab the Koby that's in trash. And we do decide to grab this Koby instead of the other Koby, because we're going to play out our doll. We're going to minus him by 6,000. So now we have the Koby that can give our that can attack into that card he just developed and give our leader plus 1,000. Is the original plan. Yeah, give our leader plus 1,000. Now Helmeppo can only attack into characters, so we might as well just get one of his bodies off the board. And we do have a blocker now, so we'll swing 6. He'll take and we have good board control with 2 blockers, plenty of trash, well, enough trash. To keep one of our blockers alive if he wants to do something shifty. Let's see what he decides to do. And he decides to drop the Luffy down. This rush Luffy, definitely annoying. And lime juice, getting rid of one of his 2Ks. Definitely not what I was expecting. My leader is a 7. He decides to swing. We'll go ahead and get the Ripper off just in case. We'll go ahead and get that block, and then we can just 2K and not, because we have so many 2Ks in hand, and we get another 2K. So we'll trash a 2K, get him out just for defense purposes, make our leader 7K and offense. You know, when you have a 7K leader, that's a offense and defensive play there. We're gonna go 2 above him, see if we get 2 cards out of his hand, because our other cards are 2 above. He does decide to save him, so we'll go another 2 for guaranteed KO. We do have 2 8K swings that we can swing at him, and now he's down to 1 character. We do have 1 blocker on board. If he plays a lime juice, he can free this again, but we do have quite a few bodies compared to his life. He does have a better hand size now, so I'm expecting something to go here. 10 drop Shanks wouldn't be, well, no, actually it would be bad, because I think I have enough trash to handle that. So it's kind of hard here. Here it's probably 2 rush Luffy's, but that gets you 2 7K swings. Sanji, very interesting play, and a 2K. So he's definitely gonna want to go after our board. The only problem is, I don't know if he knows Doll is a blocker. So he'll throw 2 Dawn, and that's a 7 out of 5 swing. We'll block that, And he does have 4 Dawn left. I'm thinking blocker here. Blocker for sure. Lime juice is what we're looking at. Not lime juice. Damn, 4 cost blocker. We know what it is. It was a treasure for this. And he swings 7. We have to let him go now. Can't protect him. We do get another blocker. But just learning from last game. 11k in hand. 11k at best he can do. So we'll do 11 here. Or was it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Yeah, 11. So if he has 11, which he could possibly definitely have, and then I forgot leader effect. So he had exactly 11. So without leader effect, we win that game. But he has 1 card in hand. He has 3 attackers. I have 2 live. All 3 must go through, and we have a 2k and a 1k. So right now we're good for an 8k swing, so 7k swings. And this is a thing I suggest you don't do. Just because if I know how you swing, I can plan accordingly. I can always assume how you're gonna swing, but if I know how you swing, I can plan accordingly. And I decide not to block that, even though I could, which is problematic. So because he also didn't play out everything. I had enough. I have enough now for an 8k swing. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. So we're able to block that out. And then he swings 9, which we have. He has 1 card in hand and 7 to end the game. All right, and now for this matchup, it's a special guest matchup against Perfect King. He is on the purple green Luffy, and I just wanted to see how this deck fills out on to this deck. Now we definitely have the advantage of being able to attack into his characters, but let's see how this goes. We definitely got a lot of black cards in hand, lots of 2Ks. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of the Sengoku and a 2K, which we grab another 2K, so that's fine. And we drop into our Kuzans, which we definitely want to see in this matchup for sure. He'll swing 7 aggressively into us, and now we have our 6-7. We have a 4-6-7. I mean 4-6-8 play out. Another reason why we got rid of the Sengoku over the Himeppo is we can play the Himeppo sooner. Always check our trash to see what our Kuzan drops, and yes, he drops Sanji Pudding down, and he drops Zoro down to search for is that another Sanji Pudding. He'll swing into our life. We'll give him one of the 2Ks that we have and draw another 2K to replace that. So now we're just trying to decide how we want to play this, and I think what we do here is, yeah, definitely we're gonna choose that one. He can attack active characters. We probably should have chose the Himeppo. That would have been a lot better of a choice there. So that was definitely a mistake on my part. Yeah, we choose the Himeppo there. The Himeppo can swing into the pudding, but we're gonna pump him up to 10. If we did give it to Himeppo, we probably give the 10 to the Koby. That way we can swing into life, put it into pressure, But now we're down a Koby. We do have a Koby in hand. And he plays out another Sanji Pudding. So we have one Sanji Pudding in the trash, one Sanji Pudding out on the field. And he has 3 Don up currently. We're just seeing how we are. I think, yeah, the Kuzan is definitely what he wants to get rid of. We're able to keep the Kuzan alive. I don't know if he didn't want to swing with the Zoro to try to starve me out, but we hard play the Koby, which is going to swing another 10. This time he has 2 Don active, which yes, definitely means he is gonna gum here, getting rid of some non-counter cards. We'll swing again to just make sure he can swing active characters, and there's nothing else we can do there. Maybe with the Koby, given our leader, our Kuzan, that 1000 may have been a little bit better, just to put some pressure towards his life. He has 5 cards in hand, possibly getting him down to 4 or using a gum. Most likely he would have probably just took being at 3 Don, and now he's swinging at board. He got rid of our Kuzan. He turned his Sanji Pudding sideways, which I definitely like, because now I don't have to force myself to attack active characters, and we can get this doll out. Yeah, definitely get this doll out. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to lose a 2K, but we bring him down to 1000 and let that Sengoku swing into his Sanji Pudding. He does have a blocker, but there's no point him being at 1004 or no, 3 other swings coming at him. Now, we want to get rid of the Luffy Taro, so just deciding how we're gonna do it. We're not gonna play any other cards out, so we'll go ahead and return some Don. We can aggressively do this because, and another reason why we split it up is because he had a blocker. So now he's gonna have to either gum or, and which he does have. He's gonna have to gum, and we're gonna get another card out of his hand or into his hand. This isn't a clear winner yet. He has a lot of cards in hand. I don't have a lot of cards in hand. He is at 2 life. He has 2 more Sanji Pudding that he could possibly play, but he is at 5 Don from going down so far back. He's not going to be able to play anything but Sanji and Pudding, which is definitely good on his part. Now he has some active Don to play with. That Frankie, with us prioritizing that Sanji Pudding, that Frankie's able to put in some good Don retention. We let him have the Sengoku. We decided to drop down 1 and counter 1. We'll do a block, and we have a lot of 2Ks, but we do have a way to go into his Sanji Pudding again. Just deciding if I want to do that or split and go into life. He has 2 Don active again. Here shouldn't be a question. It should be the Koby that I just played. I don't know exactly what I'm doing here, and I do not do the Koby that I just played, and that might be because I want that Koby. Well, let's see how we play it out. Yeah, I think we were just gonna go 2 over into the Luffy Taro. We're gonna go everywhere else besides the Sanji Pudding, which surprisingly he gives us the Luffy Taro, which I think he may have read that we were going to drain his life and then go, drain his hand and then go for, or maybe he did not have the Sanji Pudding. So we'll go ahead and throw that extra Don, make him at least 2K. And we're gonna finally get rid of that Frankie. So now he has everything but Sanji Pudding. We have a 7K leader on board, and as long as those Kobys exist, which is going to be really hard for him to get rid of with that 6K in hand counter, plus we have 3 cards in trash. They are not, Luna does not reach them. We'll go ahead and take that one. Grabbing a Helmeppo. Surprisingly, he gets the Luffy out. That definitely surprised us. Swinging 9, we have the counter. He takes a life, but we want to just go ahead and make sure he puts everything into it. He turns everything sideways. Now we have 4 characters that can just go into his face. We'll start with 9. We probably should have just started with 9 with no Don. But 9, he has no Don up. So no Gum Gum Giant to save. Math is just a little bit weird with him being in KO. Not a lot of counter. Very good match. Definitely a nail biter. So for sure, definitely want to test out a little bit more games with this Honesty Impact. Might try to make it, I can go 1 less 2K, maybe 2 of them. Definitely the green matchup where they dropped the A-Drop Kid, definitely a good card to play it against, even though you could just hold off and use the doll to make your point across. But this definitely can help in those matchups, those later games when they do drop something heavy. This is definitely going to be a helpful tool. So I might try to test around with more Honesty Impacts. But besides that, I feel like the deck is solid. Is it missing something? Maybe a little more zest in the 3 to 5 Don turn areas, but or maybe something a little bit better than Sengoku. He's really good and he definitely helps you in stalling, but if you want to play a little bit more aggressive and not play dragon or play just like the rush stuff, I think they could definitely fit in a Navy / sword card that would fit in that slot. But till next time, we're out.